Welcome, everyone, to the Better Love Movement podcast, where you will finally learn how to intentionally do dating and relationships right. My name is Anita Stoudemire, and I'm a licensed professional therapist and your personal love mentor. I've worked with thousands of singles and couples, giving them the skills needed to attract and keep the amazing love they desire. It's my heart's work to help people to get the skills needed to not only become the very best versions of themselves, but to help them grow and evolve emotionally and relationally. You can absolutely have the romantic relationship of your dreams. Come and let me show you how. Hey everybody, it's Anita back again this week with our final podcast episode for the year 2020. Wow, it has been quite the year, and I am actually going to do another podcast episode. Now that I'm actually saying those words, I'm actually going to do a wrap-up podcast episode for the year 2020. And this is going to be probably an inspirational episode to get you excited for a new year. I'm going to share with you some tips and some tools that I've been sharing with some of my clients in counseling and in coaching, because I love the month of December. This is one of my favorite months, believe it or not. It allows me to kind of review the year and close out the year strong, and then also plan for the next year. So I think that's what I'm going to do. As I'm talking to you all right now, I'm actually deciding this will not be the last podcast episode. I think I will do a final podcast episode on New Year's Eve and just inspire you, get you excited, make that a bonus episode closing out this year to get you really reflective and excited for a new year. So let's do that. But for today, we are in episode 106, and this one has been a long time coming. I cannot believe I am finally getting around to this topic 106 episodes in. I probably should have done it as episode number 3, but it is entitled A Woman's Worst Communication Trait. This is something that I have seen in, if I were to guess percentage-wise, 95% of women have this communication trait, and it is hurting us. It is hurting us in being in healthy, happy, long-term relationships, healthy, happy marriages. It is hurting us. And so I am going to dispel some myths in this episode today. I am going to encourage you to put this communication trait to bed. Like, get this out of your life and really start practicing the new and best way in which to communicate, especially with men. I want you to use this I want you to use this new tool with everyone, actually, but especially with men, because you're not getting what you want because of this one communication trait. And let me just say this. A lot of us, most of us, we got this from our childhood programming. That's where it came from. So I'm not even fully saying that it's your fault. Right? I mean, anything that happens to us under the age of 18 is not our fault. It's the adults in our lives who had charge over us, right? It's the adults in our lives that gave us these faulty beliefs and a lot of these myths and a lot of these ways in which we operate. But here's what I'm going to give for your consideration. If you're over the age of 18, if you're definitely over the age of 21, the healing and the reprogramming and the re-downloading is on you. So it's kind of like someone gives you a computer. They give you a used computer. It's now your job to clean that up, so that you can use it. You can download into it what you need. You can download new programs, new software, new operating system, whatever it is you need. Like, most of us are not going to use someone else's old computer with their old stuff on it. We're going to wipe it clean and we're going to put on it what we need it to do. And that's what I'm asking each and every one of you ladies to do if you're grown, if you're an adult, 18 plus, 21 plus. That's what I'm asking you to do, because I'm no different than you. I got a lot of faulty programming. I got a lot of limiting beliefs from my parents, from my grandparents, from other adults in my life, aunts, uncles, teachers, coaches, you name it. And now I get to decide if what they taught me or what they told me, does it benefit me? Is it going to lead to the life that I want to live? And if the answer is no, then I got to get rid of it. And I've got to put something better in its place. So that's what I'm asking you all to do. Each and every one of you ladies, I'm asking you to kind of assess, is this communication trait, is it working? Right? There's going to come a time in our life where we've got to assess ourselves and how we do things and say, is this working for me? Is this getting me the results that I want? Is this getting me, the life that I want, the relationship or marriage that I want? If the answer is no, then it's on you. It's on you to change. It's on you to grow and to evolve. So let's jump right in. Here is what I will say to you ladies, and I want you to remember this, that when you are in a relationship or a marriage and a man asks you, what's wrong with you? Is there a problem? Is everything okay? What's going on? Anything like that, that is him actually being vulnerable. He is stepping into a vulnerable space to open himself up, to allow you to tell him what's wrong with you. That is him being vulnerable. That is him caring enough to want to ask. That's a big step for a man, for a masculine man to be vulnerable with you. And a lot of us, guess what we do? When we're in that space where a man has become vulnerable with us, he's opened himself up to pretty much hearing whatever it is we're about to say. And what do? Nothing. I'm fine. Everything's okay. We do not take that opportunity. We do not see that as an open door that we need to walk through. Because what is the lie that we've been sold? Let's be honest. What is the myth that we've bought into? He should know. He should know what's wrong. He should know I'm not okay. He should know that there's a problem. If he really loved me, he would know. If he's my soulmate, he should know. If he's been married to me for 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 25 years, 37 years, 48 years, he should know. He should know me. This has to stop. This has to stop. Because here is the truth. So that is the lie. Let me give you the truth, ladies. The truth is that if you are a grown adult woman, you are in charge of getting your needs met. No one else was put on this planet to know every little thing, every detail, every thought, every feeling that you have. That person doesn't exist. Not even your quote unquote soulmate. It is your responsibility. It is your job to get your needs met. It is your job to advocate for you. It is your job to have a voice for yourself. And we must stop putting this off on other people, especially the men in our lives. We must stop expecting other people to be inside of us, to be inside of our head. That has to end. But here's the thing I want to tell you. I know where it comes from. I honestly finally get it that many of us, we had a voice. We advocated for ourselves. We spoke up as children. We said how we felt. We said what we thought. We spoke up when things weren't fair. We made our needs known to the adult people in our life. And our needs didn't get met. Or we were told not to speak up. All of that was squeezed out of us. We didn't get what we needed. We weren't heard. I know where this comes from. And so you have that happen to you as a child over and over and over. And what does it teach you? My needs don't matter. What I think and feel doesn't matter. I can't advocate for myself. I can't, speak up for myself and be heard. I'm unheard. No one is listening. No one cares enough to listen and to actually do something about what I'm expressing. That was what many of us were taught. And if you had a mother or even a father who maybe they weren't speaking up, they weren't making their needs known, they were playing these games and believing these lies that, just don't say anything to him, don't make your needs known. They should know. They've known you long enough to know better, right? They may have taught you this with words. Some of us have mothers that did this. We saw this play out over and over. Dad came to her, she had an attitude or she was banging things around, and dad came to her and asked her what was wrong, and she said nothing. Nothing's wrong. And so we got this honestly from our childhood programming. And so we thought, okay, well, that's the way to do it. That's how we're going to, how we're going to respond. But I want you to really ask yourself am I getting what I really need doing that? Is this working for me? Am I getting my needs met by playing this card of, read my mind, figure it out, right? Many of us are not. Many of us are not. And I'm going to attach to this podcast episode, I stumbled across an Effective Communication Tips 101. It was something that I had read in one of Dr. Pat Allen's book. It might have been Getting to I Do, but it was 4 very toxic or negative communication traits that we all need to give up. And I'm going to attach this to this podcast episode so you can see this for yourself. I am crediting Dr. Patricia Allen of the book Getting to I Do. So you can, see these 4 toxic traits and you can work on these traits. But one of them is this very thing, this idea that people can read our mind. That I am not going to speak up or speak out about what's bothering me, about how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I want, what I don't want, what I need, and that somehow, magically, other people are going to know that. That is a lie. That is a myth. And ladies, I need you to hear me on this. Not even your soulmate, not even your husband, your life partner, the person you believe is closest to you, your best friend, or whoever. No one is going to know every thought and feeling you are having because they're not you. It is your responsibility to teach or train or make aware of whatever wording feels good to you. It's your responsibility to do that. And I have fully and completely, finally, just breathed this in, that it is okay for me to take responsibility for getting my needs met. That doesn't make me, a crazy woman, or that doesn't make me the B word. That makes me a person who owns, I have needs. I have thoughts. I have feelings. I matter. I've been talking about this all year. You matter. And what you want and think and feel matters. But you've got to step into that power. You've got to own it. And you've got to announce to the world that I matter. And you've got to make your needs and wants known. You've got to express yourself assertively, not aggressively. So to all my ladies out there who are struggling with their language, and I could do a whole podcast episode on that. There is nothing classy or feminine about profanity, about aggressive speech, about screaming, about yelling. That is not effective or healthy or feminine communication. It's not. It's not cute. I know a lot of women do it because they think it's cute. It's classless. It is not feminine. It's aggressive. It's masculine. And if you are listening to this podcast because you're all about becoming a healthy feminine woman and stepping into your feminine power, you're going to give that up. You're going to give up peppering your language with profanity, even when you're not angry. It's not cute. It's not attractive. And if you're trying to attract a healthy masculine man, you're going to give that trait up. You're going to give up this, the profane language. Okay, but right now we're talking about the importance of making your needs known, the importance of very directly and assertively making your feelings and your thoughts and needs known. And one of the greatest communication skills that I give to my feminine energy women is expressing how they feel. That is your domain, is how do I feel about this? And I may need to attach again that list of feelings words. There are over 3,000 words used to describe emotions. And maybe for those of my ladies who are struggling with profanity, maybe I need to attach that. Maybe I need to, attach a list of feelings words so that you can, learn some new words to express yourself. Because that ain't it. That's not it. There are lots of other words you can use other than the 5 or 6 profane words that you use. And you know what? There may be the occasional slip. This is not a judgment. I have the occasional slip where I will say the S word, or I will say the D word, or I will say the H word. There may be the occasional slip. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about women who regularly communicate using profanity. I mean, if I were to just listen to them talk and I just count every profane word and really the harsh ones, the F one, the MF one, why? Why is that necessary to express yourself? My grandfather used to say, a person who uses profanity, it's a weak mind trying to express itself. So strengthen your mind, strengthen your vocabulary, and learn some new words. But yes, you are always allowed to express how you feel. And I've coached women that, they've come in and they're like, well, I probably shouldn't say anything. No, you're always allowed to say something. You're never going to hear me say, let things roll off of you. You're always allowed to express how you feel. It's how you're doing it. That's my issue. It's how you're doing it. It's being petty. If you're being petty about it, but if there is a feeling that you're having in your body, in your heart around what's happening, yes, I want you to express it in an I feel statement. I feel, I felt, I'm feeling. That's your tool to practice. Or if you get stuck like me, sometimes I get stuck too, where I'm still learning all of these 3,000 emotional words. I will say, it doesn't feel good when, and then I say what doesn't feel good. What do you think about that? Remember, we're always following up these statements with, what do you think about that? Because it's a conversation. We're not giving a little speech. We're actually roping people into the conversation that we want to have about how we're feeling. But this is your power. This is your power move, your power tool, which is expressing how you feel. Expressing, how you feel in your body. Expressing what you want, what you need to be your best. And that's what our needs are. It's not being needy. So many women tell me, well, that's, if I express that, he's going to think I'm too needy. First of all, we don't manage what other people think or feel. That's not my business. I am put on the planet to get my own needs met. I am put on the planet to think what I think and to feel what I feel. That's the only person's feelings and thoughts that I manage. I don't do things under the guise of what other people will think, what other people will feel. No. I want you to put that to bed. That's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to you and what you think and what you feel. That's it. So I see that a lot in the comments of other Facebook groups that I'm in, women worrying about what a man thinks and feels, based on, I guess, what she says or what she does or how she feels. That's not your business. That is on him. The only responsibility I have when expressing my feelings and my thoughts is to be kind. I'm to be kind about it. I'm to be direct, and I'm not to assassinate a person's character. I'm not to, be aggressive, be hurtful, be rude. That's what I want you to avoid. But do you have every right to wake up and say, I'm feeling really hurt. I'm feeling forgotten. I haven't received a call from you in days. I'm feeling lonely. I'm feeling like I'm not a priority. We haven't gone out on a date in weeks. Yes, you have every right to say that. And then that's the end of it. You don't need to take your little mind over into the land of, what is he going to think about what I just said? That's not your business. Your only job is to focus on what you think and feel. That's it. And to be kind in how you're expressing that. But no, I'm just doing me. I'm doing me. I'm living. I'm expressing how I feel. I'm expressing what I think. I'm standing up for myself. I'm advocating for myself. The end. And whatever people think or feel after that is kind of on them. And that's not mine to manage. I can empathize. I encourage people to be empathetic about a person's response. But that's it. And this is the trait. This is the trait. I'm not going to speak up. So this comes two ways. One, a man creates vulnerability by actually asking you, because men, remember what I always say, men are clueless, but they're not stupid. They can feel an energetic shift in their woman. They can read her body language. And might I add, 90% of how we communicate with each other is nonverbal. It is these gestures, postures, facial expressions, where our arms are, how our eyebrows go, eye rolling, turning away, neck, teeth sucking, and all of that. So he's able to feel the energy shift. He can read your body language. And here's the thing that I find is so interesting. I find that men are almost better at reading body language than us, but they just don't acknowledge it. I think it's done on purpose. I think men can feel that something's off. And if a man ignores you, or like if he doesn't say anything, if he doesn't create that vulnerable space, I don't believe it's because he doesn't feel it. I think they're doing that on purpose. They're like, oh, I'm not trying to step into this, or I'm not ready to be vulnerable to ask her what's going on. I think they're 100% aware that something's wrong, something's going on. They're just not, they're not going to acknowledge it on purpose. Like they're doing that on purpose. So a lot of women feel like, oh, men they're not aware. They don't know what's going on. Yes, they do. They 100% know what's going on. They're not ready to be vulnerable enough to ask you, or they don't have the bravery to do it. They're just like, yeah, I just don't feel like it. I'm tired. I don't feel like getting into it, or it's 10 o'clock at night. They know what's going on. But if a man creates that vulnerable space, and that's what it is, that's a door that he's flinging wide open, I want you to walk through it. I do every single time. Every single time anybody asks me, what's wrong? What's going on? I walk through it. I take that as an open invitation that now I may express how I feel. And I want you to do the same. I want you to erase that old programming because that's where it came from. It's childhood programming that says, I've tried this in the past. I've tried this as a child. I was not heard. I was not acknowledged. I was shut down. I was told I shouldn't feel or shouldn't think that or whatever you were told, just like me. But I need you to be brave. I need you to be the brave, powerful, feminine woman that you are. I need you to own how you feel. I need you to take responsibility for your thoughts and feelings and say, I matter. I want you to scream it from the rooftops. I matter. Maybe that's the next t-shirt. I don't know. I love creating these feminine power t-shirts. And yeah, maybe that's the next one. I matter. What I think and feel matters. And I want you to own it. I'm my advocate. I'm going to stand up for me. What I think and feel matters. Okay? Because it does. It does. And I want to light a flame in you that what you think and feel matters. And so understand that all of that old programming, it has to go. It has to go. There are no mind readers. There are no fortune tellers. We speak up for ourselves. We express how we're feeling at any moment, at any time. And we don't manage what other people think or feel about it. I almost wanted to use the word we don't care, but I know a lot of people feel funny about that. But you know what? Yeah, we don't care. We don't care in the sense of that's going to censor us from expressing how we feel. It's not. How a person thinks or feels about how I'm feeling, I'm not going to censor myself based on that. I'm just not. Because I matter. And so, yeah, sometimes you do have to care less about what other people think and feel. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to stand up for yourself. And especially if a man flings open that door, I want you to walk through it. But let's go here. Let's say it doesn't happen, okay? And that's sometimes the case. I've dated men like that, where they just, either were not brave enough, but I believe they knew. They knew. I've never fallen for that whole, oh, men just don't know. They're, they're stupid like that. They don't know. Yes, they do. They try to act clueless, but they're not stupid. They can feel the energy shift to me better than women. They're just either not brave enough to go there. They're tired, they're like, oh, I just don't want to hear it. They know. So let's say you're dating one of them. You're still going to go to him and say, I've got some thoughts and feelings going on inside of me, and I just need to get them out. When would be a good time for us to talk? Or when would be a good time for me to, tell you about them? And then you ask him, is now a good time? Do we need to schedule it for later? But you do it. Right? And you say within the next 24 hours, like you're not going to be put off for days or weeks. No, within the next 24 hours, when would be a good time for us to talk or for me to just share with you some thoughts and feelings that I'm having? And this is going to take bravery. This is a practice. This is not a one-time thing. This is something this is what you do now. It took years of practice for me. And here's the thing I'm going to tell you, because I can already hear those little sweet minds working, the wheels churning. Well, what if he, doesn't listen? What if he shuts me down? What if he blames me? What if he puts it back on me? You're going to keep coming back. And you're going to keep coming back. And you're going to keep coming back. That's called so what? That's called so what? You will not be shut down. You will not be quiet. You will not just go away. You will continue to speak on how you feel and what you think. It's time to be brave, ladies. It's time to get what it is you say you want. But let me tell you something. It's going to require courage on your part. You're not going to get into a long line of, oh, I want a good, healthy, faithful, loyal, attractive, wealthy, fit man, masculine man. There's no line where we're just giving those out. It takes courage. It takes a will inside of you to show up 100% in your feminine, at least with him. That's what it's going to take. Like, you don't get to shrink back. You don't get to be fully in your masculine and get a man like that. That's not going to happen. I can assure you of that. It will take work on your part. It will take bravery. And this is the first step. This is the one trait that I see 95% of women, still grown women, 40s, 50s, 60s, not expressing how they feel with words. Words is the magic wand, not your nonverbal communication, not the mind reading telepathy. He's going to Jedi mind. He's just going to know. And let me tell you, women, we've been using words since the dawn of time. It is believed that women use, way more words than men. 30, 40, 50,000 words a day, 60,000 words a day to a man's 10, 20,000 words? Come on now, find your words, but do it in a way that is feminine. Do it in a way that is assertive, not passive aggressive. Some of us have mastered the art of being passive aggressive. I've been guilty of it too. Because again, it was something I was taught in childhood. That when I speak up, when I am assertive and direct with what I need, I get shut down. I'm not acknowledged. I get ignored. And so I've got to use this backhanded passive aggressive way to really express how I feel. No more. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm letting people know very directly, this doesn't feel good to me. This dynamic that we have, it just doesn't feel good. I feel icky. I feel, I feel like I'm not important. I feel like I don't matter to you. I feel like I'm second and third best. I feel ignored. I feel discounted or discredited, or whatever, right? So I'm going to attach that list of feelings words. It's not going to be all 3,000. I don't think I've found that list yet, but I'm going to attach one of my lists of feelings words. And I'm going to attach those 4 toxic communication traits. Okay. And the effective communication 101. It's also going to have some other great ways in which to communicate from a feminine standpoint with your men especially, but you can use it at work. You can use it with your kids. You can use it with your family, your friends. But this is a practice. I want every woman who is listening to this, I want you to make a commitment to start today. I am going to start practicing these tools of expressing myself in a feminine way. I'm going to be direct and assertive, and I am going to advocate for myself. I'm going to speak up. I'm going to dispel this myth that the right person can read my mind. The right person just knows. That isn't a thing. That is not real. You are in charge of you. You have to be responsible for you. You have to get your needs met. And this is the fastest, most effective way to do it. I would not be teaching you anything that does not work. I am an incredibly results-oriented therapist and counselor and coach. It's all about the win for me. That probably is the side of me that is masculine. I am all about winning, like doing what actually works, getting you what you want. I tell everyone that I'm here to help you win. I'm here to help you get what you want. That's what I'm all about. I'm here to help you feel good. I'm here to help you do good, all of it. And so that is why I'm sharing this with you ladies. It's time. It's time for some of you. You've been doing this for too long. And here's the thing. This is going to be a hard sell. Like, there are a lot of you that are going to revert back. But I want you to commit that, you know what? When I feel myself, when I see myself doing this, I'm going to hear Anita's words and I'm going to speak up. I'm going to use I feel, or it does not feel good when. I'm going to make my needs known. And I'm going to be kind. I don't need to destroy a person's character. And I need to stay on my side of the fence. So what women are really good at, they're really good at using you. They're really good at telling a man what he's doing or not doing, or that he's the problem. But ladies, that's not going to get you the results that you want. It's not. It's only going to create a more defensive man. It's only going to create a man who cannot hear you. He cannot hear that. He cannot hear your feelings. You've got to come to him with how whatever it is he's doing or not doing is making you feel. You've got to lead with I feel. I'm feeling. That is the most effective way for him to hear your feelings. And what do you think about that? We add that second part so that we can rope him into the conversation. Okay, we've got to say, this is how I'm feeling about this. What do you think about that? And if anything, because men are such natural problem solvers, they're going to see it as a problem to be solved. They want to be a part of the solution. That's the most effective way to bring a man in to, this is not working for me. What do you think about that? This is how I feel about this. What do you think about that? Okay, so please, please, please join me in committing to eradicating this very ineffective communication trait. It doesn't work. And yet we knee-jerk to it over and over and over. And it is because it's our hard programming. A lot of us got this from childhood. A lot of us got this from other relationships where, again, and I believe, we came in hot. We said, you. We told a person about themselves. We got shut down, or they responded with defensiveness. And we took away from that. It didn't work. It didn't work, Anita. I tried talking to other men I was with. I tried talking to my husband. I tried, standing up for myself. I tried expressing myself. Okay. And again, I'm going to give for your consideration that I am teaching you a tweak. I'm teaching you a tool. We're going to try this in a different way. And honestly, we're going to keep going. Like, we're not going to stop. Even if the response is negative, even if the response is you're not acknowledged, you're not heard, or you're shut down, I still want you to keep going. Now, here's the other thing I'm going to tell you that you may not want to hear. You've got to ask yourself, is this person capable? Is this person capable of hearing my feelings? Is this person capable of responding and really hearing me? Because some people are not. A lot of people got their stuff. They got their brokenness and their, traumas they need to heal. Some people are not until they get their work. They're not, even when I've had dated men that even when I use an I feel statement, what do you think? They are so traumatized by their life and their childhood and their previous relationships that they can't hear. They can't hear your feelings. They can't respond in a healthy, normal way. That's a whole nother conversation that you need to have. That's a whole nother decision you may need to make. And you just let him know, I'm learning and I'm growing and I'm learning healthy, effective communication tools. I'd like for you to do some work on your end so you could hear my feelings, so you can hear and cherish my feelings. And, I've just seen over and over that, I'm coming to you in the kindest, most direct, assertive way possible. And I'm just not getting my feelings cherished. I'm not feeling heard. Or you're naturally defensive. I'm not really sure why. And sometimes when I'm dealing with a person who's naturally defensive, I will acknowledge it. I will say, how can I bring this to you in a way that won't elicit your defensiveness? Or perhaps maybe I could say it in a different way so you wouldn't feel quite as defensive. What do you think? Like, I will try that. But again, all we can do is our part. All we can do is our own work, our own healing. We can't, change others. We can't make others be different. But let me tell you, when you start using effective communication, when you're kind, when you speak from your feelings and your thoughts, it's going to become very clear to you. Like, it's going to be like the veil will lift on other people's stuff, right? You'll like see other people's stuff so clearly. And then, you can only do your work. You have other decisions to make or other conversations to have about that. Like, I'm doing everything that I know to do. I'm growing in this area and we're still not really getting anywhere. I'm still not feeling heard. I'm not having my feelings be cherished. And I'm kind of, I'm not sure at this point, I've reached kind of the end of my part of this. And maybe there's some work there that needs to be done. But let's make a commitment from this day forward. We don't even need to start in the new year. Let's start today that we are going to give up this idea that I'm not going to advocate for myself. I'm not going to make my thoughts and feelings known. I'm not going to use words in a direct, assertive way. I'm going to stand up for myself. And I'm going to get my needs met. I'm going to get my needs met when I do that. I'm going to stand up for myself. Let's make that a thing. I hope this episode was helpful. I know when I first committed to giving up this lie, to giving up this myth, it was hard. It was hard, if I could be so honest, because again, this was something that was so deeply ingrained in me. And then, looking at all these rom-coms and, the right guy, your soulmate, he'll just know, he'll just, read your thoughts and he'll just know you so well. You get that stuff burned into your brain. And I've always been a hopeful romantic. I've always been a, love type of girl. And so, yeah, I had to erase all of this. I had to scrub my mind of all of this faulty programming. And I had to just stand up for myself. I can do it in a feminine, soft, sweet way, but I have to do it. I have to take the responsibility for me. I have to own, my thoughts and feelings and say, I matter. So I'm not telling you this isn't going to be a challenge or it isn't going to be hard. But I want you to know this, the best things in life oftentimes come with the challenge. They're not, you don't just walk into them. They require some effort on your part. But this is so worth it, ladies. You will get what you really want when you adopt this trait, when you speak up for yourself. So we are getting closer to the end of the year. We're getting closer to January 2021, and I'm excited about the release of my new book, the first of a 2-part series called Choose Well. You're going to start seeing more Facebook and Instagram posts, and I'm going to do a little video for YouTube for it. So I'm excited about that. And be on the lookout because it's coming soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. And as always, stay open to love. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. If you are enjoying this podcast, please leave me a 5-star rating and review. Your ratings and reviews help me to continue to bring you more great content. Head on over to YouTube and check out the Better Love Movement channel. There's more video content there, and you can subscribe to be notified when a new video is posted. If you have a question that you would like to have answered on the podcast or in a YouTube video, please send it to me at info@betterlovemovement.com. You can also connect with me directly on the Magnify app to have your dating and relationship questions answered. That's MAGNIFI, and it's available on iOS and Android. You get your first 5 minutes for free. So give me a call and let's chat.